Am I the asshole for looking unprofessional and refusing to make requested changes? I, 32F, work from home as a recruiter. My industry is pretty niche. It's a common job, but I have to be very careful about recruiting with state and federal regulations. I've got it down, and in my position I don't really do video conferences. I make a ton of calls, but candidates do not see me. It's also worth mentioning I'm the only WFH employee, but I signed on to be WFH from the beginning and accepted a lower pay rate for the convenience. Owner and I are both pleased with the agreement. The company owner called an impromptu all-hands meeting this morning, and I replied that I'd be on screen in 5 minutes. I didn't elaborate. Owner said it would be fine and sent me the meeting invite. I put on a bra and a blouse without explicit phrases all over it, grabbed slacks in case I misjudged the camera angle, and tossed on some eyeliner and lip gloss for good measure. The office is business casual. Mostly, I made sure I was also business casual on screen. The big exception is my brightly colored alternative haircut style. I was hired with brightly colored hair and the owner has no problem with it because it's always styled acceptably and I maintain the color. He doesn't even balk at face tattoos. I have none but other employees do. Afterwards I received a message from our payroll clerk through Teams that my appearance was unprofessional. I should have been dressed and ready for a meeting at any time. My, naturally curly, hair should have been straightened, and I need to dye it a natural color. Failure to do so would violate my contract and I'll be fired. I let her know that my appearance is approved by the owner. I'm not a contract employee. I was dressed appropriately and what I wear in my own home outside of video conferences is none of her concern. She does not have the authority to reprimand or fire me, and in the future she should not message me unless it is directly related to work. I did advise the owner and he approved of what I said, but she's then circulated my message around the office and I've been contacted multiple times about saying things more politely and being more understanding, and told a few times that my hair really is inappropriate. I thought I was being firm but not rude, and I don't want to stop with hair colors, but now I'm second-guessing myself. Am I the asshole? Edit for clarity. I'm white, she is a POC. So it's not racism towards me, but based on some of the comments I've seen I'm now wondering if it came from a place of racism being previously directed at her. Company handbook allows for maintained natural hair texture. Hair colors aren't restricted. But I'm newer than she is to the company and don't know how long it's been that way. Edit 2. My direct supervisor is HR, she's now aware of the situation. I've screenshotted the messages I've received and sent them to her, and it's between her and the owner now to decide how to handle the issue. Edit 3. There will likely be a written reprimand for payroll, and potential consequences for the coworkers who made comments also. There may be more to happen to payroll. I haven't asked for further details but I'll be informed afterwards most likely. I appreciate the commenters who have also commented on my WFH compensation being unfair too. While the dollar amount is lower per hour, I'm compensated for my internet and my supplies are provided. Anything I need is an email away. I've also been given licenses for programs I can use in my personal time, have PTO before the 6-month mark, and we've already agreed to renegotiate at my 6-month mark. I won't hesitate to discuss more when I believe it's appropriate to do so. You're right, the same work deserves the same pay. But I'm benefiting more currently swapping some hourly pay for other perks, and I'm happy. Not the asshole. Owner approved your hair. He's the only approval you need. Everyone needs to mind their business. What is the deal with your coworker? First she oversteps her authority and then she circulates your response? Is she trying to get fired for bullying? Also, she expects curly-haired people to straighten their hair? What? Obviously not the asshole, especially as you have the owner's buy-in. But I feel the need to mention this. She's then circulated my message around the office and I've been contacted multiple times about saying things more politely and being more understanding, and told a few times that my hair really is inappropriate. This sounds incredibly close to bullying, and you'd be well within your rights to take this to HR or your manager if you feel comfortable doing so. Not the asshole, although it seems that she may have breached business edict by passing your email around. Maybe mention that to the owner as well. Not the asshole. You need to tell the owner that payroll party pooper is harassing you by sending your email to her out and getting other people to bully you on her behalf. Make it clear you are expecting the owner to raise the issue with her so that this stops. Everything you said was completely right and the payroll lady is just butthurt that you called her out for overreaching and attempting to exert power over you. Not the asshole. She massively overstepped. I thought your reply was fine. The owner thought it was fine. But even if it wasn't, she shouldn't be circulating it for everyone to see. I would lodge a formal complaint against her. Good luck. Not the asshole. Also, the owner needs to express a bit of authority on his house. If they approve, that's the end of it. Not the asshole. What authority does the payroll clerk even have to be telling you what you should be wearing? And as a side note, even if the hair color was considered unprofessional, natural hair is not. Not the asshole. What authority does the payroll clerk even have to fire or reprimand you? Am I the asshole for losing my shit on my roommate? I'll make this as brief as I, M31, can. But I'm still a bit filled with rage. Both of my roommates, F25, F26, are out of work at the moment, so I've been covering all $2,000 of our rent the last 2 months. One has kids, so pays for half normally, since she's paying for the extra bedrooms for them. The last 6 weeks I've averaged just shy of 70 hours busting my ass to get our shit covered. One of my roommates, we'll call her Olivia, has some pretty deeply ingrained issues with being alone. She also has the attention span of a newly spawned tadpole, so is constantly on TikTok. Over the last 3 days, one of which was my only day off this week, she was woken me up 13 times, 5, 6, 2 times. I have gotten maybe 5 hours of sleep over these 3 days because she wants to show me a TikTok, then goes back to bed. An hour or so ago I had just fallen asleep. Less than an hour of rest before she banged on my door for literal minutes. I finally locked it, thinking it might dissuade them from waking me. I finally snapped and raised my voice. Said something to the tune of, "Dude, I'm about to lose my shit. If you don't stop disrespecting my sleep, I'm going to move into the studio available upstairs and leave you guys to fend for yourself." I've not raised my voice in anger at anyone in several years, but I finally snapped. Now Olivia and Alexa are upset with me that I was so vicious, when they just wanted to show me something they thought was cool. Thing is, I've previously expressed that I don't give a fuck about their TikToks, and a closed door doesn't mean knock, it means I want to be left alone. I'm perturbed with myself for losing my temper, but these guys have been laying around the house napping all day and constantly robbing me of any sleep. So, folks, do I owe them an apology for losing my temper after weeks of this crap? Edit. Both Olivia and Alexa pull this crap. Olivia is slightly worse, and happened to catch the anger that had built up. Edit 2. Holy fucking shit. They just knocked on my door. I unlocked it for them in the misguided hope it was an apology. Nope. They just came to tell me that they cook me dinner, 1-2 times a week, and feed my cat for me when I'm gone. I didn't want to raise my voice again, so I said, as calmly as I could, to get the fuck out of my room. And that we needed to have a serious talk tomorrow about what they were going to do about finding a new roommate. I've also specifically told them not to feed my cat unless I ask them. Explains the LB. He's gained the last couple months. I'm fucking furious. I'm fucking done, folks. Thank you all. Edit 3. Here's your damn cat tax. Edit 4. Landlord was filled in on the situation when they called me back about my email from last night and has agreed to shift me off the lease to the studio if I want it. Going to check it out tomorrow afternoon. The conversation has been had. Someone asked for my evening shift, so off nice and early comparatively. Told them I'm checking out the studio tomorrow and that they need to find someone by October. 2 shocked Pikachu faces. All apologies and sucking up, but I've had enough. I almost wavered after the conversation, sitting in my room. Until Alexa's 9-year-old poked her head into my room and basically told me she would miss me, but was happy for me. Funny that the most rational person in this place is a 9-year-old, but here we are. They've been alternating between freaking out between the two of them and begging me to reconsider. Nah. Thanks again, everyone. Needed that push. Nope. Furthermore, tell them to get off TikTok and find a job. ETA. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Why on earth don't you move into the studio and get some peace? Leave those two worry about themselves since they can't be bothered to go find work when so many places are hiring right now. There's really no excuse for sitting on their butts playing on TikTok like teenagers instead of finding a job. Does the TikTok girl have a brain injury that prevents her from maturing past a 10-year-old's level? Why is she waking you up multiple times? That behavior is just bizarre. Not the asshole, but I suggest you go ahead and move out. You're letting them live with you for free? What the actual fuck? A full-grown woman knocks on your door to wake you up to show you a fucking video several times a night? That's completely crazy. I'm speechless. Why on earth don't you move out? Why are you paying rent for two? Sorry for saying this, nutcases. For the love of God, find yourself a cheap studio apartment where you don't have to throw money away for anyone else, and where no one will bother you with fricking TikTok of all things. Not the asshole, though maybe you're an asshole to yourself for continuing to live there. Not the asshole you have been kindly covering their rent while they mess with TikTok. The only reason they don't have jobs is they haven't applied. There are so many people needing employees, these two should find work in a heartbeat. No, you are not vicious. You need your sleep, and waking you up multiple times to watch a video is not bright. Who in the actual fuck wakes someone up to show them a video? That is the behavior of a child. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You have the equivalent of 2 toddlers living in your apartment. Go get that studio and get out. Who in the world wakes up another adult to show them a video? She would hate me as I would have gone full Hulk smash on time number 3, much less 13. Not the asshole, you had a normal reaction to being woken up again. They are out of line for bugging you all the time, especially while you are paying their rent. You were pretty calm sounding based on the lack of sleep. Am I the asshole for getting upset with my father about buying a smaller house? Edit. Dad, 47 male. Manipulated me, 23 female, into moving in with him during the pandemic and asked to borrow $3,700 for the down payment of the new house. He decided on a home with a master bedroom and 3 other rooms. It would be perfect if it was just me, dad, and brother, 14 male. However, with 2 other people, stepsister 17 female and her boyfriend 18 male, under our roof, I am of the opinion that it is too small. There are only 2 bathrooms that we would have to share between us 4 kids. Also, the rooms themselves are smaller than what we have now. My dad says that the 4 animals we own will learn to get along and I can kick my cats out of my room, but I don't think that's a good idea. I asked my dad if we could keep looking. Our realtor found the perfect house in my dad's budget. It has a mill suite in it, which basically means smaller master bedroom with an extra den attached. It could be like a little apartment for me. There's a door to the den that I could close to separate my cats and their dogs. Everyone would have appropriate space. My sister and her boyfriend would get 2 sinks in their bathroom and their own private shower, toilet. My brother would get his own toilet, sink, and share a shower with our dad. My sister and I intend on paying him rent as well. The problem is that there's no gas lines and it'd be difficult to install a generator. These are 2 characteristics in a house that my dad really wants. Sister, her BF, and myself are likely to move out in the next year or 2. However, we have no exact timeline. Rent here is high. When I ask my sister and boyfriend if they would want to move out with me, sis said not really because she can save so much more by living with dad. I'm brand new to this area and don't know anyone. I haven't found a roomie via soliciting online and there's nothing here in my budget to rent alone. I am stuck. I just wanted to have a little bit of extra space for me and my cats. Dad called me today while I was at work to negotiate about it. Really, he just told me that he is going to get the smaller house because us older kids will be moving out in the next year and he doesn't need all of the extra space. He says the smaller house will be better for him in the long run. I do understand his logic, but I explained that a year isn't going to feel like a short amount of time if the whole house is stressed about space. I told him I would not mentally be okay if we got the smaller house. BC of the divorce, my new BF, new job, new state, I just started seeing a therapist. He has a home office and a guitar room that he could install into extra bedrooms if he wanted after my sister and I move out. He also keeps saying that one day he will buy back the house we are currently selling, which is significant much larger than the house I'm suggesting we get. But, he told me that he got the smaller house. I want to cry. I'm stuck here. He says it's too late now to switch to the bigger house because it would end up in a bidding war he can't afford. When I got home, my family had eaten without me. Ouch. So when my dad came up to me and said hi, I ignored him. So, am I the asshole? What should I do? Or rather, what can I do? To be more technical, down payment isn't the right word. He actually asked to borrow it for the earnest money on the house. AKA the money you need to give up front in order to contract the home. I would read between the lines. This could be his way of encouraging the adult child and soon-to-be adult children to move out of his house. Especially if he is seeing a new woman and is looking to start a new serious relationship. Probably wants less kids living with him. You are the asshole. If you don't like the house he bought with his money, move out. You're an adult. You are the asshole not even touching that you are an adult but your father is planning to purchase a 4-bed, 2-bath house for 5 people? And you are complaining it's not enough space as you will have to share bathrooms and you don't get your own apartment-like area? It sounds to me that your expectations on how much space is needed to be comfortable is not at all in line with how most people live. You are the asshole. It's his home. He can do what he wants with his money. Home buying is crazy expensive, and stressful, so he is clearly thinking about long-term strategy. He shouldn't have to plan on moving twice. You are the asshole. Your dad is buying a house, and he's the one who's going to be living there long-term. You, your sister, and her boyfriend only there temporarily, I hope. And so your wants are simply not nearly as important as his in the decision. Frankly, your dad is being very generous letting you live there already, given how crowded things are. You are the asshole. When you are buying a home, you can choose it. You seem pretty entitled using phrases like, our realtor. Plus, a 14-year-old probably wouldn't end up in the desired master suite anyway. That would go to the couple until they moved out. Edit. I see that you are the 23-year-old. Not that the age matters much here. You are the daughter, not the wife. This is not a joint purchase. Your dad is purchasing a home. When you do the same, you can pick whichever one you can afford. You are the asshole, you are not putting your name on it. You are 23, he is letting you live in whatever house he buys. 2 bathrooms is totally fine. Wait your turn, like an adult. Who is paying for the house? If it's solely your dad's budget, you are the asshole. If most of the extra residents are only semi-permanent and your dad will be left on his own to pay rent in a high cost of living area, he's smart to plan ahead. Am I the asshole for causing a scene at my SIL's birthday party after I found out she lied to me? My brother's wife comes from a wealthy family. Everyone in my family keeps asking her for favors and at this point she managed to financially dominate them except for me, my wheelchair user husband. She's civil towards us though. Her birthday was few days ago and she decided to have it in an upscale restaurant, and even gave out invitations. I received one but was only in my name. I called to ask her and she said she only wanted women at the party for more freedom and fun. I informed my husband and he said it was fine. He handed me the birthday gift he brought for her and asked me to give it to her. I got to the restaurant and was astonished as I approached the table my SIL was sitting at along with all the women in the family and their husbands. I kept mumbling WTF? Dad and brother were there. I asked Mom what the deal was and she just said, take a seat and we'll explain. I turned to my SIL and asked why there were men at her party when she said only women. Mom spoke up again telling me to sit down but I told her to stay out of it, then demanded SIL explain. She said knowing that my husband is wheelchair bound she thought it'd be so much trouble to get him ready, find him proper transportation, accommodate him at the restaurant etc. So she thought his presence wasn't necessary but she couldn't openly tell me to leave him home, so she used this little white lie to get me to have a stress-free time instead of worrying about my husband. I got furious and told her to stop treating my husband as burden and that she should have been upfront about her plan. Adding that what she did was manipulative. I took the gift my husband got out my bag and said this gift came from the man she excluded from her event and that I was going to return it. Then I walked out, got into an Uber and went home. Mom visited saying SIL was being a $1 but didn't think what I did was okay or tactful. She reminded me SIL is the host, funder for the party, so I have no say in who's invited and who's not, and that I was free to turn and leave soon as discovered her lie instead of making a scene. Also said it was just a pathetic, ego-boosting party, so it's not like she excluded my husband from a wedding. I had to deal my brother's anger as he was livid and accused me of ruining his wife's birthday over one family member not being included. I said if she was up front I wouldn't even have come, but she deceived me into coming thinking the party had women. He said I got it all wrong and should stop spoiling my husband since he's a big boy and can get over not being included in one event, and wants me to apologize to his wife, reminding me of her what she's done to help our family. I let my husband know about what happened and he stared at me in disbelief, then he got quiet all of a sudden. Even refused to talk it out with me and said he needed to be alone for some time. I admit this behavior on my SIL's part is not new, but still my husband and I were very hurt no matter what her real intentions were. Forgot to add ages, I'm 31 and my husband is 35, SIL is 28. Not the asshole. This is your husband. You are well within your rights to call her out and to leave. Honestly, you showed quite a bit of restraint. Not the asshole. Play discriminatory games, win scenes as prizes. Not the asshole, but you entitled SIL certainly is. She's also a coward for lying to you like that. I think she deserved to be publicly shamed like that. I'd tell your brother that until she apologizes to your husband for discriminating against his disability, then you will have no further contact with either of them. Oh, not the asshole to the max. Tell your mom and anyone else who has a problem with your reaction to shove it because her dishonesty properly earned her that response from you. You didn't ruin her birthday at all. She got exactly what she wanted, an event without your husband in attendance. And ask your brother how it spoils your husband to expect him to be treated with respect? I wouldn't apologize for shit, and I'd remain super pissed in your shoes op. And #X200B. Honesty could at least have been respected, and you could have made your own choice with eyes wide open. Her deception was absolutely disrespectful and wrong. Not the asshole, obviously. I think it is ironic that your brother is telling you to stop spoiling your husband when he is so blatantly covering for his wife's assholery. As for your mom's comment, I think that sort of behavior has to be called out at the time. Make a scene in the fancy restaurant. That's the only time they can feel any shame. Bottom line, your mother and brother want the gravy train to keep running, so they want you to suck up to SIL like the rest of them. Not the asshole. SIL is an ableist. Not the asshole, she's ableist and bang out of order for doing what she did in that way. She needs holding accountable for it. If that happens to be in public, at her own party, then so be it. Not the asshole. Cut SIL and everyone that agrees with that disgusting way of thinking off.